Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Uncorked with Funny Wine Girl. This is Funny Wine Girl, aka Janine Luby. May has 5 Thursdays in it, so think of this as kind of like a bonus episode. For anyone who watches the video, if you're watching me record this, I'm really winging it tonight because I've been busy these past few weeks, this week in particular. I'm not at my desk where I have my awesome neon sign behind me. I'm sitting on my couch and I have really light blue background. I kind of look like possibly like a Unabomber situation in a basement. I don't know. And I'm looking up at the ceiling because I have a friend up there with a lot of legs. It's not an alien, it's a spider. And I'm honestly not afraid of them, but I don't love when they land on me. That kind of freaks me out. So I'm going to keep an eye on him while I talk here. I've had a lot of good things going on. I've had laughter yoga sessions for a senior center for the employees and clients at the Scranton Counseling Center. I spoke last week at the Greater Scranton Area Chamber's Empower Leadership Conference. I led a wellness session, laughter yoga. I'm sure there was other stuff going on, and I did a lot of media over the past several weeks, not only promoting my Restart Scranton in March, but then in April promoting all the stuff that I've got going on. So it's been a little bit hectic. So I'm not going to lie. So I really did not have a lot of time to schedule a lot of guests. This week, I'm just going to chit chat for a little bit. And then the next few weeks, I will, of course, return with another slew of fabulous women to speak to. I can tell you, Jamie Durkin, a friend of mine, we had actually a schedule and I had to reschedule that. Jamie owns Vicina Design and she's been offering sewing classes. She just had or was part of this really cool thing at the park locally in Scranton. It was, I guess, on Saturday, I want to say. It was World Mending Day or something. So people were encouraged to bring like their, jeans or whatever needed mending. So I love the idea to keep things out of the landfill, to mend them instead. And I love the pictures I saw. People not only mend it, like holes in jeans, but they had fun. They created like really cool designs and colors and patterns. So Jamie will be on the podcast as soon as we can reschedule. Not only does she do sewing classes, but she's a fantastic designer. She makes beautiful handbags. She's been doing custom dresses for communion dresses, wedding dresses, mother of the bride, all kinds of gorgeous fashion. And then I should share also that I'll be having someone in a few weeks, Jennifer Estelle. She is fresh on my mind because I just got to spend time with her today. If you've listened at all to my podcast, then you've definitely heard me talk about women supporting women. It's what I'm all about. I encourage women to connect with one another, and not just with women, obviously connect with everybody, but I do especially believe in the idea of uplifting women and helping where we can. So Jennifer and I got connected through one of those types of groups. We both had been at the Wild Women of NEPA, and I think that's how we got connected on Facebook. And in any case, Jennifer owns Endless Mountains Vineyards, and she also has a nonprofit called Be and Let Live. And I won't get into it too much because Jennifer will be a guest. In fact, I hope to have her on, if not the first week of June, probably the end of May, because she has some things coming up in early June that we can plug. But I also want her to share her stories. We got together for a glass of wine over the winter in Tunkhannock at Nimble Hill Winery, the tasting room there, which I love. They used to have a great Gewürztraminer. I don't think they make it anymore, but their Gruner Veltliner was very nice. And anyway, we had that glass of wine. We chatted. An interesting story that we actually had more than one glass. Who am I kidding? And oddly enough, at that particular day, I don't know what happened, but the power went off. So that was interesting. The lights went out. And eventually they had to close. Jennifer had invited me to come see her vineyards. And she does not have a tasting room yet. That's a future plan. But it is absolutely gorgeous. Right now, she does do some events and she books private, I won't say private, but small parties for intimate dining. And she treated me a lovely lunch of delicious Thai noodles with delicious sauce, a little kick to it, I have to say, which was good because it got my sinuses cleared a little bit. It had eggplant in it, it had peppers in it, it had chicken in it, and a delicious spinach salad with goat cheese. Yes, please. I break for goat cheese. Walnuts, strawberries, and then, of course, what meal at a winery or at a vineyard would be complete without a glass or two of wine? So we had the Traminette, which is actually from her grapes there. They don't, I mean, they don't have a lot of grapes. They're growing them. And so it will be, I guess it takes about 3 years, some Riesling, some Pinot Noir, some Pinot Gris. But she does sell her grapes or has been selling them. So the Traminette grapes were grapes she had sold. And Grovedale, which is a winery in Wyalusing, they make this delicious Traminette with the grapes from Jennifer's Endless Mountain Vineyards. And I got to taste it today, and I loved it. I do enjoy a Traminette, and I agree with her because she had said hers is one of the best. It's been called one of the best in the state of Pennsylvania, and I agree. It was just delightful. So Jennifer will be on in the coming weeks as well. But I want to just circle back for a minute about the whole idea of women supporting women. Through the years, I've gotten some eye rolls, even from people that I like and admire, because I think they don't believe it's necessary. I think they kind of feel, I don't want to speak for them, and I don't know if it's they haven't encountered any what do I want to say? Any kind of discrimination, or they have felt, maybe they feel that they fight harder and they don't want to whine, or they think it's whining. I don't know. I've definitely gotten some pushback from a couple of friends, but I do believe that, I mean, I don't really think, if anyone doesn't see the patriarchy in the world that we live in or this country, I don't know what they're looking through, what their eyeballs they're looking through. But so basically, I think women can definitely use a hand from one another, excuse me, especially. Men seem to do a great job helping each other out. Women don't get that help necessarily from society because the respect honestly just isn't automatically there. And then sometimes I don't really love the idea that women are all catty, this myth. I do think that's a myth and a misconception. But the bottom line is, I really do enjoy working with women, collaborating with women, helping where I can. But what I wanted to get to is, it's just something that's on my mind, pardon me, that just kind of has irked me this week. I think it's important to help women where you can, to give them praise, support, be there for one another, and do all of that. However, that is not the same as friending someone on Facebook and instantly trying to sell to them. So that's just a recent thing that hit me, and I kind of felt guilty unfriending the person after I had just friended them, or denying all the groups they wanted to put me in, or declining. But I have to say, and I had a couple of these ladies this year, they had never met me. I never met them in person. And I don't know if they even really knew who I was. And I'm not usually suspicious of women. Men, definitely, because some of the accounts with men's photos are fake anyway. A lot of widows from like other countries or states. That's like, yeah, okay. But women, I usually do not mistrust. I'm usually fine with that. But if I friend them and then they instantly have me in five, I don't know, jewelry groups or pampered chef groups, or they're, sending me, one sent me this big long message that was completely salesy. I don't know what it was. It was probably the energy drink or vitamin du jour. And I'll be honest, I don't appreciate that coming from anybody. I cannot stand when I get an email or a message on LinkedIn from someone who's trying to sell to me. It's like, at least buy me a drink first, Don't go right in without any lube. I mean, whether you're a man or a woman, I don't want you hard selling to me before you've even introduced yourself to me. So anyway, that's just my little pro tip. If you are out there, that's not a good way to go to try and connect with people, whether it's men or women. If you friend me on Facebook and I accept it, please don't instantly put me in a jewelry group or invite me to your online pampered chef party or whatever. I mean, we've literally never met. how about sending me at least a hello? It's nice to meet you or whatever. But anyway, so that was my little pet peeve this week. And I wanted to say, you know what? I'm not supporting women by removing myself from those groups. That's just something maybe other people don't mind that, but I don't like it. Don't just send me 10 pages that you want me to like because, it's your brother-in-law's carpet place and your sister-in-law's nail salon. Like, I'll be honest, I don't know, maybe I'm a weirdo, but like, I'm not going to just put a like on something because someone who I don't even know or barely know asks me to like it. It's like, no, I'd like to actually be interested in this stuff, okay? So that was my little pet peeve, but I had a great afternoon, as I said, with Jennifer at Endless Mountains Vineyard. It was incredible. The view up there is amazing, and we were sitting outside under this beautiful tree, and she has a nonprofit, Be and Let Live, and so of course she's all about rescues, and her pit bull mix, who's an absolute sweetheart, Olivia, who goes by Liv, who is full of confidence, I have to say, a really great dog. She was vocal at first, barking, and she gave me kisses, and I pet her, but she's been with a trainer, and that has worked. A lot different from a lot of my friends' dogs who are like, trying to like jump on you while you're eating. This little gal, Olivia, just sat down and relaxed while we ate, and being outside looking at the endless mountains was just absolutely, honestly, calming and such a treat. I had such a wonderful afternoon. A few things I'd like to promote, and then I want to just take a moment to pat myself on the back because May is the anniversary month for this podcast. It is 4 years this month. May 18th was the very first time that I recorded anything, and it was with my friend Tina Gallagher, who is a romance author. I was in her garage because I was in better shape then. We were actually doing workouts together for a while, and you know what? I'm going to have to ask her about that if she'd be willing to get that started again because I missed that. I would go to her house to work out in her garage, and I had these workout pads from kickboxing class that I used to take years ago. And so we would hold the pads and we would do punching routines and kicking routines. And it was a great stress reliever and exercise. And as I hear myself say it, we really do need to get back to that. We'll have to figure something out. Anyway, I was using the app and I wanted to test it out. So I did a little, I don't even know how long it was, probably no more than maybe 5 to 10 minutes long, where I did a little quick talk with Tina because she was working on her novel series of romance novels that are based here in Scranton. And she was inspired by women here in Scranton at a pole dance studio where she takes pole dance fitness. She loved it. She loved the camaraderie, the women, the strength she felt after taking this class. We talked about her inspiration, a little bit about that, how she got started. It wasn't really an episode, but it was just one short conversation. And then the very first full episode of Uncorked with Funny Wine Girl was actually published on May 27th, 2021. And that episode was called Some Like It Chilled. And that was a conversation with my dear friend Oliver Ord, someone I call Ollie, who is a dear friend since we met back in high school. I've probably told this story before, but we were in the basement there at Bishop Hannon High School, which is no longer Bishop Hannon High School. It's probably something for the Diocese of Scranton. We were in the basement where we had our lockers, and I looked over at his locker and he had a picture of Madonna, and I think it was probably one of those silly little, like, we're 14 years old, like, oh my gosh, you like Madonna? I like Madonna too. I probably said something like that. And that's how we became friends. But he was my first guest, which I do understand the irony, or I don't know. I don't want to use the word hypocrisy because that seems a little bit harsh. But this podcast is really all about uplifting women, promoting women. But I will say Oliver is a dear friend, and I wanted the first conversation to be with someone I know, with someone I'm comfortable with. So Oliver was the first guest, and we talked about movies. And yeah, so that was a fun conversation. And ever since then, I've been highlighting a different woman each week. I joke that I only allow token men on, so occasional. Oliver gets a pass. He is allowed anytime. And through the years, he has honestly been I think of Misery, my number one fan. No, Oliver has given me notes every week, little critiques where he talks about what stood out for him from the episode, what he thought was funny, what he thought was poignant, what he learned, what was meaningful. And, I've appreciated him listening, and that's been great. But as I said, he has a pass. He can be on anytime. Otherwise, I've only had probably two other men as guests. And I don't say that to be like, oh, look at me, I don't like men. I say that because I genuinely believe in uplifting women, and I do want my guests each week to be a woman who has something to share, a story to tell, information to share that others can learn from. I want people to feel inspired, uplifted, informed, entertained, all of that stuff. So I won't even attempt to go through my guests through the years or say, oh, I have a favorite. I have enjoyed every conversation. Naturally, I'm not going to be a politician or a bullshitter here and say that they were all fabulous. There clearly were conversations that were more engaging for me. There were some guests who might have been a little shyer than I expected, and maybe their answers weren't as robust as I perhaps would have hoped. But every woman has been worthy. Every woman has had something of value to share. And that's the main point, honestly. I will just continue to toot my own horn for just a minute here and say I am thrilled to give you some statistics. It's 4 years and there are 52 weeks in a year. I'd like to say that I have 200 episodes, but I'm not really sure, to be honest, because there were a couple weeks during the holidays when I didn't do full episodes. So I'm going to say I'm pretty darn close to 200. I will need to take time soon and figure that out because that's kind of a cool, important statistic. But I've had nearly 7,000 plays through the year. Now, granted, that just means pressing play. It doesn't mean continuing to listen through the whole thing. But that's still pretty cool that people have found the podcast and pressed play. So then it's at what point do they go, okay, I'm busy, or oh, this doesn't appeal to me. That I don't know exactly. Um, let's see, close to 1,500 streams, 176 consumption hours. That sounds pretty good. Although when I hear consumption, I think of someone coughing and blood in their handkerchief. Is that the same? That's not the same thing as consuming a podcast. So those are some statistics that I wanted to share. I'm really proud of this. I know there are things that I can do better, things I need to learn, but this is one sliver or piece of a pie chart of my life. I will absolutely say that I am 100%, more than 100%, although that's a little pet peeve. I hate when people say 1 million. I've heard people say, what, 1 million%, 1,000%. I mean, are we just throwing out numbers here? 1 gajillion%? What does that even mean? But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that with my absolute whole heart, I am beyond grateful for my podcast sponsors that I do have. And I want to give a special shout out to Emily Hickox of Budget Through Life, because she was my first. You never forget your first. But all kidding aside, she came to me with this idea because she was first a listener and then she was a guest. And then she said to me, I would like to sponsor your podcast. I was blown away. I was thrilled. I was humbled. I was so happy. And she is a person, if you've ever listened to our episodes, obviously she knows budgeting. And she had given it serious thought. She had a proposal, and I was like, wow. Not only is it financial support, but it's emotional, social, it's support that gave me confidence to feel a different way about my podcast, to feel even prouder of the content and prouder of what I was putting out there, the value of it. And it led to me getting a second sponsor, Reinvented Threads with Gabby Lynn. Gabby came on board in January of this year. And again, I am so grateful to her for her support, not just financial, but because she believes in the content that I'm creating. And it's just, the two of them together, their support means the world to me. And Gabby Lynn is someone I've known for many years. You probably heard me say, when she lived here in northeastern PA, Susquehanna County, she had a coffee house. She was always there for me in supportive ways, however she could be, allowing me to have events at her coffee shop. And I love what she does with what she creates, the Reinvented Threads, the hats, the bags, all that good stuff. And as we finish, well, we kick off May, we're wrapping up on April, which was a great month for, Earth Day and sustainability with Gabby, but also with Emily. April was Financial Literacy Month. And if you listen to any of my episodes, you know that Emily has a way of talking about money and budgeting that just, it makes sense. It really does. And she makes it easy. So please be sure to follow Budget Through Life on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and follow Reinvented Threads on Facebook and Instagram. I love them both. I appreciate them both. And it's been wonderful having their support. With that said, of course, I am always, open to additional sponsors. So don't be afraid. I say it's cheaper than if you were buying yourself a latte every day. It's for a month. Sponsoring me, you can sponsor me for less than that coffee addiction. So that would feel pretty good, wouldn't it, to help support another woman who is who has a platform for women to share their experiences and connect. I've had more than one or two women tell me that they learned about other women through my podcasts. And again, that's what I'm all about. Connecting people, connecting women, helping them find people and other resources to help them, and vice versa, because it's all mutual, right? I want us to be good humans. Give to others, they'll give to you. And sometimes you don't get it back from the person you gave it to, but that's okay. That's life. I was talking about that today with Jennifer. Sometimes the support you get does not come from the people you expect it to. And that's okay. It's all good as long as we're putting out good stuff in the world. And we certainly need that now more than ever. So I will close with this, and I do mean it because I've been talking for longer than I expected. Story of my life, right? April was National Humor Month. May 4th, which is this Sunday, besides it being May the 4th be with you, it is World Laughter Day. So please check out my social media, Funny Wine Girl Janine on Instagram, Funny Wine Girl Janine on Facebook, and Laugh to Live on Facebook, because I've got some great events coming up this weekend. Yes, if you don't live in the area, for the most part, you won't be able to enjoy them. But if you live outside the area, you could enjoy Sunday, World Laughter Day. Check out my Laugh to Live Facebook page. I will definitely be hopping on there twice. I'm thinking 9 in the morning Eastern Standard Time and sometime in the afternoon to lead laughter yoga on my Facebook page. That is something I do often. Definitely the second Sunday of every month. I will do like a self-care Sunday where I will lead laughter yoga on my Facebook page, Laugh to Live. I will pop on sometimes just kind of impromptu, but definitely Sunday for World Laughter Day, I will do that. Now, for folks in Northeastern Pennsylvania specifically, I have some incredible events coming up, and they're all under the title of The Art of Laughter, because they will all take place at AFA Gallery in downtown Scranton, 101 Penn Avenue. Friday night, I am super excited. I will be doing an exhibit of my Funny Wine Girl doodles. So, Santa Claus gave me a stylus about 2 years ago, and I started doodling. And it's just a lighthearted, playful, fun way of me expressing myself. It's about my observations with the world. It's me handling my life now, what I'm going through, being in perimenopause. I joke that I've given up dating apps for bird identification apps. It's like move over Tinder. Now I have Pecker, as in woodpecker. So I like to doodle about those things. Now, I'm not a fine artist, so I cannot draw what's in my mind as well as I'd like, but they're kind of like unrefined, childlike, whimsical drawings, and they're not for everyone, but I've been having fun doodling. And so Friday night, I get the pleasure and privilege of showing those off. They will be framed, but they will also, most of them will have a QR code next to them, because they've been curated. I should say there's been some video clips that were curated specifically to go with each of the doodles. So you'll look at the framed doodle, and then you get out your phone, you scan the QR code, and that will lead to a comedy clip of mine, a stand-up comedy clip on YouTube that goes with the doodle. So for example, I have one doodle that looks like a bowler hat from like a Fosse number. And that links to my comedy bit that I do about having to do like 3 choruses of all that jazz just to get the automatic faucet to work. So that's a little joke I do. So you'll look at the doodle and you'll hear the joke. And of course, you'll just go, oh, isn't she charming? So that's Friday night, the opening reception. And in the other side of the gallery, there are 2 other artists who will be displaying their work. And there's going to be a DJ. So it's going to be a lot of fun Friday night. Saturday night, also at AFA, it's a comedy show. It's going to be 3 stand-up comedians, myself, Mary Raypatch, Tim Conniff, who is from Northeast PA, but now lives outside of Philadelphia, the 3 of us, and then that will be followed by the Scranton Improv and Comedy Improv Players. They will do improv, which is incredible. You got to see it. So that's a fantastic evening, Saturday night. Check out my social media because it's really a ticketed event. You might be able to get tickets at the door, but you might not. And then Sunday, as I mentioned, is World Laughter Day. And I will be leading laughter yoga in person at AFA Sunday morning at 11 a.m. And if you are not from the area or if you can't make it there, check out Laugh to Live on my Facebook. You can see it there. You can join me there. But if you can make it in person, it would be great. Sunday morning, 11 a.m. It's a $10 donation and it benefits the Humor Therapy Fund of the Scranton Area Foundation. I worked on that. We are celebrating 20 years. That was part of my graduate school project when I was going for my master's, 1 class at a time because I was working full time. 2005, it was my ending project, and I worked with the Scranton Area Foundation to create this fund, the Humor Therapy Fund. The whole idea is to spread positive, happy, healing laughter and humor. And so each year a grant is given out to a nonprofit. This year, the recipient was the Abington Community Library. They are doing a laughter lab for teenagers. They will get to learn improv. They will get these humor toolkits that the library has ordered. So that's this year's recipient. Last year, it was the Boys and Girls Club of Northeastern Pennsylvania. The previous year was NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. So if you believe in helping to spread positive, uplifting, healing laughter and humor, that is what the Humor Therapy Fund is all about. So I'm doing a candy bar fundraiser and then World Laughter Day $10 donation to benefit. So I went a little longer than I planned, but I don't really plan, I kind of plan, but I don't plan. So that's everything. And this has been just a bonus episode. So be sure to tune in next week when I will be back with a guest. And I do, with all sincerity, want to thank you all for tuning in. It means the world to me. I will always ask, if you don't mind, if you do enjoy this, please share an episode, maybe one of your favorites, with a friend, maybe someone, even if they don't listen to podcasts, you never know, they might like to give it a try. Share it with a friend, anyone you know, really. Share it on your social media. If you could write a review, that would be fantastic. Go on to Spotify, go on to Apple. And if you don't like writing reviews, maybe just go on and give it 5 stars. That would be awesome. I also have this on YouTube, a YouTube channel, Uncorked with Funny Wine Girl. Maybe hop on there and, say something nice, put a like on a video. All of that means a lot to me. Even if it doesn't mean something financially, it means something to it's an investment in my emotional wellness. Let's put it that way. Sometimes on a rough day, it feels really good just to know that people are listening. So that's it. So have a great day. Have a wonderful weekend. Whether you join me at the Art of Laughter or not, I hope you find laughter where you are. Yes, it's okay to laugh. Yes, it's important to laugh. We can resist with hope and humor and share that, spread laughter. It's such a good thing to share with others. So I'd just like to say I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart and the bottom of my wine glass.